What is cognitive fixation?
I came up with two great ideas. What more could you want?
Why is it that some people have a more difficult time ideating than others? Why is it that it's not easy for us to just spontaneously come up with lots of wild, random ideas?
That's the dumbest idea I've ever heard.
Why is it so hard for us to defer judgment when we are ideating? I have a theory. Picture with me an infant or small child learning how to survive in its new environment. Very quickly, they learn that communication will be an important key to securing the things that they need: food, comfort, or maybe just even to have its butt wiped. The infant learns very quickly that by giving off the appropriate signals, by expressing itself appropriately, it will be rewarded by the fulfillment of those needs. Likewise, the small child learns very quickly that inappropriate responses will give undesirable results. It works.
They don't permit me to think.
Picture with me now a teenager, one who also has special needs. Perhaps not to have its butt wiped, but he or she wants to connect with his peers. He wants to be known as Mr. or Miss Popular. They also learn that inappropriate expressions of thoughts or actions are met with undesirable responses from those who are significant to them. So, prejudging our thoughts before they are expressed serves us well. And as we continue to grow, we accumulate a storehouse of experiences and memories that help to reinforce these cognitive blocks that tell us we must not express certain thoughts because the results will be negative. This is referred to by Daniel Kahneman as the remembering self and the experiencing self, which are totally distinct.
What are all the ways? You really want me to think about all the ways? That's too much work, man. I can't just give you 3 ways.
Our brain has, over the course of our lives, become the watchdog of our thoughts. Most of them are evaluated internally with regard to what reactions we will get from those who are important to us.
I like to call a strawberry, not a kangaroo.
It has become an unconscious cognitive system that rapidly and reflexively reacts to stimuli and situations, enabling automatic responses from highly practiced activities. Even when we are, as one might say, lost for thoughts, we default to signals from the outside, from others, to tell us what our thoughts and our actions should be in order to be appropriate. We may often hear ourselves or others saying, "Can you give me an example of that?" And then we conform to that example.
Just tell me what to do and I'll do it.
But while this mode of thinking, processing, enacting, and expressing have served us well throughout the years, it unfortunately is a block to self-expression and creatively thinking up novel and abundant ideas. We now know that through divergent thinking, we can come up with a wide variety of ideas, some of which can prove to be novel and useful. That is to say, creative. But in order to produce these abundant, unusual, novel ideas, we must now learn, or I should say, we must now unlearn a thought process that has served us well over the years. Research on the cognitive processes now show us that the opposite of these traditional thought processes leads to creative thinking as expressed at its best form. We also now understand that a wide variety of factors also contribute to mental blocks to creativity.
I assume you just want me to stick to the script, right?
We have learned to default to the safe. This is called functional fixedness, where we tend to get fixated by the traditional use or function of objects.
Think outside the box? What box?
Thankfully, there are now tools to help us overcome these mental blocks to creativity. These include tools such as incubation, where an individual is encouraged to stop thinking about a challenge, think about something totally different for a while, and then come back to the challenge. Making connections is yet another tool where an individual, again, is asked to not think about the challenge, look at some other non-related imagery or thought, and then try to connect that imagery or thought to the challenge. Analogies are yet another tool which may not invite fully developed solutions to a problem, but they can help us to restructure our thinking about certain problems. In short, blockages or fixations that occur and hinder mental flexibility can be overcome through three basic approaches. These were defined by Smith and Lindsay in 2011 as 1. Forgetting fixation, that is, recognizing when fixation occurs and consciously choosing to forget that fixation. 2. Redefining the problems. This way, the problem as originally defined can cause a fixation, especially if the definition has embedded in it negative senses of failure or predictive negativity. Thirdly, using cues or hints to provoke new ideas will also help us to break through some of the blockages. There are many examples of how a clue that is serendipitously encountered in an unexpected context has triggered an important insight into the solution of a fixated problem. These are just a few of the techniques that are available to help us to break through the cognitive blockages that occur and hinder our best creative abilities. Bueno.